Go ahead.
On gas prices, and despite the steps that the president has taken, despite tapping the strategic oil reserve, prices have hit a new high at $4.37 a gallon. How long should Americans be prepared to pay this much at the pump?
Well, I would say you heard the president say today and reiterate today that he is relentlessly focused on easing Putin's price hike at the pump. And that means taking as many steps as he can to continue to lower costs for Americans. Now, the steps that he can take, and he has taken, of course, include a historic release from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, leading the world in their release to ensure there's more supply in the global markets to reduce the price of oil, which is exactly what it has done. He's also taken steps that are definitely smaller, but meant to do anything possible, including issuing a waiver for E15 so that thousands of pumps in the Midwest could have gasoline that make it available to Americans so that that's 10 cents less. But he also is noted, and we would note, and he noted this morning, that oil companies should also do their part in ensuring they are not price gouging customers at the pump. As oil prices come down, so should gas prices at the pump, and that's also something that we are going to continue to watch closely and continue to call on steps to be taken.
But given that the steps taken so far haven't been able to bring down prices, can Americans be confident that some of the steps that you're outlining now will be able to have an effect, or are prices just going to stay this way? Is Putin's price hike going to stay until Putin's war is over?
Well, we certainly won't accept that. But what I think is important to note is the oil market is global, and what the president can do and will continue to do is ensure he is doing everything in his power to ensure that supply in the market meets the demand out there in the market. But the point is, when there is enough oil out there in the market, oil prices come down, as we've seen them come down, and gas prices should also come down. And that is something that Americans should be watching closely and be clear about where we're seeing price hikes come from.
Just a question on messaging. Who came up with this phrase "ULTRA Maga"? Why the need to kick it up a notch? Well, MAGA wasn't enough. I mean, why now use this phrase?
I will tell you is the president's phrase, and the president made those comments himself just last week, as you know. And I think what has struck him is how extreme some of the policies and proposals are that a certain wing of the Republican Party that is taking up too much of the Republican Party are for and are advocating for. And you've heard the president talk about this. But it's not just obviously putting at risk a woman's right to make choices about her own health care. It is also, as you heard him talk about this morning, Rick Scott's extreme plan that will raise taxes on 75 million Americans making less than $100,000 a year. It is Rick Scott's plan to eliminate, that's what sunset means, get rid of, Medicare and Social Security, something people over 70 in this country rely on. And it's also the obsession with culture wars and wars against Mickey Mouse and banning books. President thinks that's extreme. That is not what the American people care about or what they want. And so to him, adding a little ultra to it, give it a little extra pop. Go ahead.
So then who is an ultra MAGA Republican?
I would say people who support that portion of the Republican agenda.
So Rob Portman, Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, would they be ultra MAGA Republicans?
They can all make their own choices, Ed, and we can let others evaluate that. But I would say that the president's view is those who support a plan by Rick Scott, by Chairman Scott, that would raise taxes on 75 million Americans and get rid of, sunset, eliminate, whatever you want to call it, Medicare and Social Security. That's a MAGA position. And that includes the chairman of the Republican National Committee. That's a MAGA position. That is the chairman of the party. So that's what the president considers, but also, obviously, given 2/3 of the American people, according to a Fox News poll, believe that that Roe v. Wade should be protected. If you're on the other side of that, you're supporting an ultra MAGA position in the president's view. So we don't need to name call individuals unless they have positions that are aligned with what he feels is the ultra MAGA wing of the party.
Two other quick on foreign affairs.